on. Also, go check out tinyurl.com/ggC giveaway and ggC Twitter. It might be ggC Facebook. Tiny URL. You'll see it out there on the Reddit thread, actually, and on the homepage at ggchronicle.com. You guys have you have a chance to win RAM. We got 8 gigabytes of 1600 megahertz RAM for your desktop computer we're giving away. There's only 50 people who have posted in that thread right now on Facebook, so get over there. There's 7,000 of you watching. You all can get in there. You still have a big chance to win it. And, of course, on Twitter, tinyurl.com/ggC Twitter, you can go ahead. If you retweet that post, you win a 16 gigabyte thumb drive.
All right, and I think I'm pretty sure Taipei Assassins just watched the 4-0 game of their domination of CLGNA and noticed Twisted Fate on Takashi X was absolutely dominating in pushing lanes, but just mowing towers down so quickly. And the split push idea, yes, because Twisted Fate and Janna was part of a split push where Twisted Fate on Takashi X and Janna on Zekint. The two of them, Janna was actually top lane, and the split pushing they did was absolutely sensational. Mm-hmm. They split pushed the lane so far to the point where CLGNA was just getting poked down. It was actually probably the most annoying thing that you could have happen to you as a team, where they're poking you down, but yet they couldn't get to you. It's like somebody sitting there and poking you and then running away and then poking you and then running away. And they just did it to perfection last game. So you can tell they were watching our other second stream, and
they almost looked like they were about to drop it.
Does not want that to happen.
No, 4-0 did almost look like they were about to drop it there. They did lose a Baron over top, giving it to CLGNA, but being able to split and keep those towers down and also keep the inhibitors down allowed them to come back and win that game.
Yes, and the final ban here being Urgot, they were dominated by an Urgot by balls last game on NTWNA, so I agree that is a great ban on their part. Meanwhile, 4-0 has banned Dr. Mundo, who low balls also mains pretty well behind his Alistar. Then they banned Corki and Soraka, so they want to make sure that bot lane does not get the exact combination they don't want to go against, so it's very interesting.
I was just going to say the Soraka and the Janna ban, they don't leave you too much else. I wonder if we're going to see a really aggressive Leona pick out of here, out of either Taipei or 4-0.
I wouldn't be surprised. Leona pick or, there's a couple others that escaping me right at this point, but I think there could be a couple others like a Sonya being aggressive early. That could make a difference, so we might see some aggression bottom lane. We'll have to keep an eye on it.
Bottom lane's going to be one to watch as well. Hopefully the camera and my controls can actually grab them this time and not miss the mid kill, the first one that comes out. I was just joking on Twitter. I was shaking the rust off with my first game.
That's right, but the thing is that you know what? You can always rewind, and that's the best thing about this new feature. I give Riot a lot of credit. The spectator feature is fantastic.
I like this right here, the Shen pick. Evelyn being picked. Evelyn not had a rework yet, so she is not in the live patch, but she is going to be a placeholder, so we will find out what she is if they decide to pick it. Hopefully they're talking so they know what to pick and how to counter it from that point, because actually picking Evelyn first and then not telling the other team what it could be, could be a little bit of a problem.
I'd be kind of surprised. Maybe as a dog is a really... has had this account for a very long time, so if it is a placeholder, which it looks like it is, so I guess we'll find out what it is in a little bit. Shen, meanwhile, Shen hasn't been banned in a little while and also hasn't been played, so I guess I'm not really surprised. They have the option of putting Shen in jungle or Shen in top lane. I know both players, both Little Balls and Stanley, play him, so we'll see where that goes. The little... as we say, a little flexibility to go with it.
Ooh, we got the Kale pick over here. Looks like we probably have Kale going top lane against Shen. I actually like that pick there. You'll be able to zone him out and roam if they want to, or at least keep Shen to force Shen to be under the tower and not be able to leave when he wants to.
Let me say something though. That might be bottom lane because it was picked earlier in bot lane, not to their liking as it didn't work out as well as they wanted to. But they have played Kale bot lane, and because Zekint actually played, Martel actually played the support role as Tarek last time. So and Zekint played Janna as the AP role. So we'll see. Let's see if we have a little switching here.
Ooh, could be interesting. Are you thinking maybe an Ezreal top rather than the Kale?
Yeah, that's a good question. Karthus is definitely mid, but I think Kale is actually going to be a little bit of a confusion there for TPA depending on what they're going to pick.
I can't wait for Fortnite to pull a TPA and put like Cassidy top or Karthus top, just because they can, and totally screw up TPA. TPA thinking they're going to play this straightforward game.
Well, let's see what Stanley ends up with then, because you may see a Lulu top of all things, and of course the attack speed Lulu Stanley is very much known for. So
meanwhile, she's nasty.
Yep, and you're going to see a very aggressive bot lane with Tristana Nunu. Nunu. I gotta say, Tristana is Bebe's most commonly used champion. Likes Tristana a lot. Likes her burst. Knows her better than almost any other AD carry that Bebe plays. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be a good pick for them. Good familiarity, and maybe in this game they need to go back to really familiar picks for them, as they may have gotten dominated and go back to what they're best at.
We'll have to see. I really am curious what that Evelyn pick is turning out to be right now, and what Fortnite is going to be picking for that. And unfortunately, being a caster, you're kind of in the blind and having to play on the live account.
We can speculate all we want to, though, right?
Well, we can speculate. I honestly have no idea what it could be. TPA just does some really odd stuff. It's obviously not Alistar, because little balls are TPA. Mistake, actually. I'm trying to think of the player that actually banned it out. Mistake typed it. Ooh, here's a Singed pick. Interesting team coming out of here from Fortnite.
They have played Singed. Martel has played Singed, and from what I understand, he is very, very good at it. I think we saw it.
Is that? Do you think that could potentially be a jungle Kale and a support Nautilus, or vice versa?
That could potentially be a jungle Singed. Well, that's a jungle Nautilus, I'm pretty sure. But I think Kale is actually going to be support in this case.
Ooh, a cat pick.
Support before. Oh, really? Oh, that would be amazing if we saw a cat pick, as it would make sense, except for
they don't have a lot of CC over here in the Bloom. Yes, they have the flip. Of course, they have the ultimate to stop her. Oh, here comes Mord being picked. Mord swapped over to the last second. So now we'll see, as they more likely will quit out of this game and find out where Evelyn goes, unless there it is, Baby dropping out. So they will they'll start this game right back up, just ban some champs really quickly, ones that no one he's playing, and we'll find out what that Evelyn pick is, so we can really start to theory craft.
Let me say, Mordekaiser we haven't seen in a really long time in competitive games. I don't think we've...
The last time I've personally seen a Mordekaiser was with Dignitas. No, it was Curse.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say Dignitas was the last one I saw playing Mordekaiser mid, and I believe it was Scar that was doing it. So, he's kind of fallen out of favor, recent times, which is kind of surprising, but... This would be great. I would love. Now I'm really excited, because I think we're going to see some things we haven't seen in a little while. I have not seen Taipei Assassins play Mordekaiser at all. I'm assuming this is Stanley's pick to play top. So let's see what happens. Now we're going to go through some BS bans. Which, by the way, I want to make a real quick comment. I gotta give CLG your credit, as they banned Teemo, Singed, and Mordekaiser as their BS bans one time, because they didn't have a certain champion. Spelling TSM for us, yeah.
Very nice.
We appreciate
That's an Optimus Tom type of thing. That's bannables. There it is, Nocturne.
That's right.
It looks like Nocturne was the Evelyn pick.
Aha, okay. I was going to speculate, but then I decided against it.
Yeah, sometimes best. Not taking Flash, taking Exhaust, which isn't a bad pickup that allows for more ganks, especially when you don't have red. You're still able to gank coming in there with a Q for the speed up. You start fearing them, then you drop the Exhaust down right after the fear is gone, and they are not going anywhere.
And look at the double global presence now that makes for TPA's grouping here.
Not really a double global, but close to it.
Well, I still consider it global, whether it's still they made it range for Nocturne's ultimate, but it's still
all they needed was Karthus.
Presence, against the Karthus global presence. So let's see what happens with this. I'm very interested. There's definitely between Mordekaiser, Shen, they can make some good beefy tankiness out of it, but Singed is Singed, man. He goes where he wants, he does what he wants, and that top lane matchup of Mordekaiser Singed, that's old school. We haven't seen that in a long, long time.
No, and you don't see Singed very often. Really, the last time I've seen Singed was probably a Dyrus playing him. Someone else may have played him in the interim, but I remember seeing Dyrus play him in the jungle and play him top. As they all know, TSM's Dyrus top laner now plays a lot of Singed, or at least used to. But interesting coming out of here with this Ezreal and a Kale support. I wonder if they're thinking about ulting on top of that Karthus as he walks in there to give him an extra 4 or 5 seconds of damage with the Defile.
That's exactly right. That TSM actually ran that comp, except they had Dyrus play Kale top lane, and then used the synergy of Kale's ult with Karthus going in, and it changes team fights because if you're anywhere near Karthus in a team fight and he's in the middle of it all the time,
Ooh.
you're looking at trouble.
Well, you're looking at double trouble here with Singe, because once Singe gets rolling, gets himself a catalyst on him, turns it into a Rod of Ages potentially. You can move him into a Ryless Crystal Scepter. You can also build like a Force of Nature or any other type of tanky items on him. Once you start rolling those tanky items over him, giving some armor, magic resistant life, he does damage, and you can't move him. And you throw that on top of a Karthus who's going to be standing in the middle of everybody. You've got the slow coming out from the Singe, or the Singe can throw it back into the Karthus. There's just so many different possibilities in here, not to mention the constant damage he's pumping out with that Q. I really like Fortnite's team comp, but at the same time, TPA, they're able to go up and they're able to grab somebody and blow them up. Just nearly instantly.
Right, and let me correct myself. It's actually going to be Shen versus Singe top.
Okay.
And it's going to be Mordekaiser mid with toys, and Mordekaiser versus Karthus. Mordekaiser is going to push, and push some more as much as he can, farm up as much as possible. That's gonna mean he's gonna have some presence in some other lanes, I suspect. So between that and Nocturne, they can make some presence known in some other lanes, both top and bottom.
Well, over here with this Ezreal pick, a lot of times you'll see that the Mordekaiser will drop down his ultimate onto the carry, and they will blow up the carry as fast as they possibly can. Maybe pull them into Mordekaiser like a Blitzcrank, for example, and they blow them up. Now you turn the fight into a 6v4, and that's actually a Area Defect song. Just throwing that up out there, but
absolutely
Mordekaiser
song.
But it's gonna be.
I hope you guys have enjoyed our music, because it is from Bad Administrator, who is definitely a friend of ours with. As well as Area Defect, which is another friend. The music, I think, has really made the theme great for this tournament. It really helped us out.
That's right. This music's been fantastic. Hope you guys have been enjoying it. I'm actually taking requests in the chat when I do the interim while we're waiting. But I was just going to talk about Mordekaiser really quickly with a minute left. Woo! Computer's going off. It's going to be hard to catch that Ezreal to get that extra carry on him. So it's going to be interesting who they decide to target in team fights and what kind of ghost they want to get out of it. I wonder if they're just going to try to get whatever they can, or they're going to target someone specifically.
Yeah, it's really interesting, though, because Nautilus, Singed, and Kale aren't going to really provide all that much damage. They're just going to be, Nautilus and Singed especially are going to just be really tanky. So my feeling is they're going to try and take Karthus out early and try and just zone Ezreal out of the fight. They have the ability to do that with Nocturne. Mm-hmm. Other than that, though, it's going to be tough. Ezreal's going to be able to go where he wants to. It's going to be up to Parole. I think Parole is going to be the key man of the match to watch during this. He is going to either make or break what they do.
Absolutely, all these team fights, because he needs to have that specific positioning in any of these that come out. So we are rolling into the last 19 seconds here. Hornet, why don't you give us a rundown of our sponsors, if you don't mind?
All right, so we'd like to give a shout out to arcade.com. That is ARQADE.com. I've actually used it to ask questions that I've had questions about. It's a great site for those of you who have not been able to, figure out a certain matchup or figure out, what. Maybe you need to know who counters certain people in mid lane. Like in this case, we might have a Mordekaiser mid. Maybe you haven't seen Mordekaiser in a while, so you'd like to ask a question. Well, over at arcade.com, if you ask a good question or you give a quality answer and give 5 upvotes for it, automatically enter to win great prizes. I know we have a great video card. We have some RP cards being given out, and as long as you're over there with the more popularity of the site, it's pretty easy to get 5 upvotes for a quality question. So I encourage you very quickly to do that. I'd also like to thank Kingston. Kingston has provided us with some great prizes to give away to our fans, Facebook and otherwise. So make sure you check that out. They've been great to us and have allowed us to actually give you these tournaments. So make sure you check them out at some point.
Yes, absolutely. Please go check out arcade.com. We are actually in the game right now. You'll see with Fortnite on the blue side, with TPA being on the red or purple side. Fortnite walking right over in here, seeing toys as Mordekaiser. He's got to haul ass to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, you better blame. Actually, I got this bug again, so I'm going to change it real quick. At least I know how to fix it.
Yeah, that's right. We see pings going down. They know that Fortnite is still sitting over here. I'm actually going to go ahead and use my my controls rather than the keyboard, and little ball sitting off to the side over here. He wants to start at blue. However, we still see Fornot sitting down here in the bushes, just waiting to go in. Pings are going down. We'll see who decides to make the first move at this point. It's nice
Toys.
cowboy type of standoff.
Toys are a little far out there. That was a little close. Actually, it turned out really well for them because he actually saw 3 members of Fornot, I'm pretty sure, and now they know exactly where Fornot is sitting. But we saw this last game where MTW really was aggressive on their blue and not allowing their jungler to get it, who was Skarner in that game. So if this happens again, this is going to be a little bit of trouble. However, Nocturne can get away with not starting blue, so we'll see how this works out.
Here we go. Toys getting caught there. Now we see the ghost out. Nice flash over the wall, not able to get what they want. A flash out of the Kale. Interesting choice out of there. So now the flash is gone. They are walking back over here. That is Fornot's walking back over. Little Balls tried to start it. His Wolves were not able to get there in time. So it looks like his blue is going to fall over to Fornot right now. Nice ward put down there. Oh, they picked it up.
Oh, they shot that down real quick, too. Nunu better get the heck out of there. He's going to get zoned out. Okay.
Little Balls trying to come in here.
Little Balls is really ballsy. He wants to get in there and make sure he doesn't lose his blue, but it's just not going to happen as it comes to one bad Brad, and he takes what he wants. That's
right. Well, now he's forced to go over here. He's a little bit behind at this point now. Losing out his blue. We do oversee our top lane singed against a Shen. Should be fairly passive up till probably about level 3 or 4. Might something happen at that point. I'm really curious of what's going to go on mid lane now because we had talked about that previously with Toys being able to push. He's going to get a Gunblade and he's going to start pushing against this Karthus.
Absolutely, and he's going to be dodging little BBs all the time from Karthus.
Look at this. Level 2 up here. Level 2 up here. Stanley's already taken half his life in damage thanks to a singed.
Wow, that's quick. That usually doesn't happen very often, but and he took a regrowth pendant, so at least he can sit there and try and stay in lane. But man, this is tough. It's going to be a little tough lane. He's going to have to play really passive, already being half health and not having one pot, which he doesn't want to use yet for some reason.
But we see down over here, we see that coming in the middle lane right now. Actually, Nocturne's really low over by his golems, but in the middle lane, Fornot. Takashi taking lots of damage. Mordecai is able to pick it up for first blood. Fantastic E out of him, but he probably will drop. Yep, there we go. The ghost of the Karthus picking that up. So that's a 1-for-1, giving the Mordekaiser an extra 100 gold for the first blood.
Absolutely. The good thing is that he got first blood. That's going to be a little bit of an extra thing. Now, the interesting thing is that Singe is walking around looking for some jungle to steal, but he's not going to find it yet until he gets actually down here to the race, which I wonder if Nocturne's actually going to find him sitting down there.
No, I don't think. And we'll see what he's doing. He is standing here taking him, doing a fantastic job. Exactly what he should do. Nocturne decided to go for Wolves first, so he's going to find out that his race are gone. Wow, he's missed a lot of jungle this game.
Absolutely. He just gets to level 3 now, so he's going to be far behind no matter what. He's going to have to sit in lane and hopefully get some extra farm from those who might be missing. We'll see how that works out. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they look like they're exchanging a little bit, but this is going to get interesting more or less probably around, I'd say level 4 or 5 when Ezreal gets a couple mobility to really catch somebody out as Mistakes tries to go in and zone out, but he's not doing a great job.
We see over here Little Balls now coming up to take the race. He wants it back. He had to go ahead and smote the big Wraith, but leaving the little ones on there as Karthus knows that he is down there because there is a ward. So, but meanwhile, he backed over here. I was actually thinking it looked like Nautilus. He was standing right over here. I'll move over to it in this bush, but he's back. So top lane, Stanley being forced to go under his tower right now. We see Singe at 28 CS compared to Stanley, who is, of course, Shen with 24. Hasn't had to use that potion yet, though.
No, and he's actually almost back to full health. So he's not taking any damage. Meanwhile,
baby, taking lots of damage down here in the bottom lane. He went up there, tried to be really ballsy with it. And here we go. We see in the middle lane chasing him down. That is, we put the Turn the Defile on. The Qs are coming out with the auto attacks. Toys trying to put the damage in. He's not able to get out of there as his flash is down still from earlier. It's trying to come back up. See if he's going to make it out there. So close. The wall's going down, and the pill is picked up.
Well, I'll tell you what, the blue buff made the difference there for Takashi X because he was actually able to put the wall out and put the dodge and BBs, which actually Toys is doing a great job of, but once he had enough mana again for the wall, that sealed the deal for that kill. The blue buff paying dividends with starting on Nautilus and then being able to give to 4-not Takashi X there.
Well, we can't forget about top lane here with Shen. We were just saying how he started with the regrowth pendant, which gives you a little bit of extra health per 5. Oops, I'm sorry about that, guys. I hit a key on my keyboard as I was turning on directed camera. Ooh, all of them sitting down here in the bottom lush.
They're already set up.
I was going to talk about the Vorpal Blades, but this is a little bit more exciting than that. Parole and the rest of his 4-not crew sitting down here. Bebe doesn't really... I don't think Bebe has any idea.
Bebe has no clue, and Mistakes is walking around as if he doesn't know
Oh,
where to go. He's going to get stuck right there.
A flash coming out of him. Now the nice dredge line coming out to pull him back in. That's a kill for the 80 carry, and of course everybody else got the 50 gold. Ping's coming down as blue is pinging down there in the middle, and red is pinging down at the bottom. So Toys being forced to walk out of here. The wall of pain goes down. Singe coming down with the slow, missing it though. Toys is going to walk toward the river. A nice flip comes out onto the Singe. Now Toys knows he has to go in. On top of this, we see Ignite going down. A nice flash comes out. He picks up the kill. Fantastic there play by Toys, knowing he's getting a 3-man ganked.
I was going to say, he was going to get killed no matter what, so he definitely went in for the kill, and he got it, and he actually put the ult out on Nautilus, which is kind of surprising. I didn't think he wanted to waste that yet, but that's fine. He tried to see if he could survive longer. Meanwhile, Lil Balls, who has had no visitation to any of the lanes because he's been so far behind, is finally going to get some farm to hopefully catch back up. But the difference now is Nautilus is able to visit everywhere, and Nocturne is not able to visit or be effective in any lane yet.
And you see this over here, Singed. He walked over for the race once again. He hasn't really spent that much time in top lane this game.
He hasn't needed to. He just pushes the lane right to tower, right in front of Shen, and then goes and roams where he wants to. He's been really efficient doing that, and you can tell by his CS score. Now he's just going to go up and harass Stanley again, and then say, oh look, yep, I'm just going to collect all these CS again, and keep doing what I want. You can't do anything to me.
That's right. Well, we do see Shen decide to go the 2 gold per 10 route. Picking up the cage's lucky pick, as Shen's most of his abilities are off ability power. Still no boots on him, so he's not going to be going anywhere. He is 6 now, though, so he can help out a gank if there's one bottom lane. I'm actually going to pan back over there. We do see that the combo of Bebe and Mistake, which is Nunu and Tristana, have really pushed them up against the turret here, so we'll see where they've decided to go. It looks like they're going to go ahead and ward Dragon. No, he's walking down the river. Yes, there it is, the ward right there on Dragon. I wasn't sure where he was going to put it. So bottom lane hasn't been one to watch like we thought it was. It seemed like a little bit more would be going on with this lane.
Well, it did when one bad Brad came to visit. But other than that, you're correct. I think that really stuck the lane to where they wanted. But Bebe and Mistake really want to look like they want to establish their dominance in this lane and push it. Meanwhile, Parole says, okay, I'm going to push back and get what the positioning I need, and looks like they work together. They pushed Mistake back a little bit. It's really, they're trying to both establish themselves inside this lane, and they're getting CS while they're doing it, but it's really a battle of wills down here.
Meanwhile, top lane up here, we see Nautilus sitting in the bush. He does have blue. However, Singe is going to be pushing that lane out, so we'll see what Nautilus decides to do, maybe pushing the lane back. Oh, there we go. That's why he's pushing it, so he can walk up. We're going to see if they're trying to get a gank down here under the tower on Singed. Or, I'm sorry, on Shen.
If he can get, I was going to say, here we go, and Stanley's put up, and now he's going to get sit and hooked. He'll probably get hooked right about here.
Nope, not enough damage on him.
Damage to be able to put him out. Yep, that was good harassment, and well, now they're going to chase him down. So you get away from the tower, it's ours now.
And the ultimate going down out of here from Singe, but it isn't enough to catch up with him. The speed boost isn't. Meanwhile, bottom lane, lots of damage going down in here onto 4-not Parole. We see an exhaust coming out, and ult coming out. The heal coming up out of Bebe, not enough to take him down. So lots of burst damage. We did see that Little Balls was trying to come help with double buff, did not make it in time. So that exchange actually going in favor of 4-not right now, as Taipei Assassin's bottom lane is sitting at half life.
And meanwhile, Toys is trying to establish himself by pushing the lanes as need be. But here comes the chasing team, Nautilus and Singed, coming down to chase Toys. Toys says, okay, I'm out of here. Send everybody at me. I'm going to walk back to my jungle and get out of here.
Wow, look at Singed still walking around in there. Singed, he don't even care. He's got... I was going to say, Little Balls got big balls, and Singed got bigger ones right now.
Singe does not care right now because he's able to control everything he wants. We haven't seen this in a while. He's got 2 gold per 10 items, so he's really going for the later stages. But right now, he gets to push where he wants to and not worry because nobody can do enough damage unless they really time him out of position. And so far they haven't been able to. And of course, Nocturne being pushed out of himself, trying to catch back up. He just got to level 6 a little bit ago as he tried to go bot lane, but I'm waiting for Nocturne's presence because that's Lil Balls is really gonna need it to help these lanes out.
Absolutely. And right now, it's a fairly passive game from the last one we watched with TPA. They are not down nearly as much gold as they were last time. There was the Dragon at 6 minutes we saw when it was the MTWNA playing. Of course, watching over here, Karthus going ahead and taking those race for him. We do see that Nautilus is walking in the middle. He has an early Oracles 11 minutes in here, so he's going to be able to take out as many wards that he wants. We're not playing Orb.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of expected after they did that great gank bottom lane, I expected Fortnite to actually go for a dragon after that, but they didn't. So this is now kind of at a neutral stage. Dragon may not be taken for a little while longer until a team fight breaks out, maybe for somebody trying to take it.
Well, look at this again here, top lane. I've had my camera on it while you were talking about this. But once again, Nautilus sitting up here in the bush, and I think Stanley knows something is going to be going on. He seems a little weary to walk out there.
He's got that feeling, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sure does. It's funny. It's this little Mexican standoff going up here.
Well, it's funny. Yep, he's actually going to back off because he just feels something wrong. That nobody knows where either Singed or Nautilus are, so he's going to back off completely. But the funny part is that when you look at it, yeah, he's going to come back and take the jungle golems. But, it's funny because it's actually the two members of Fortnite that have the CC that when converged together are easily able to really push Shen out of the area. So yeah, one bad Brad's going to have to back, and they're going to push the lane. And now, just as he does, Stanley returns back to lane and says, "Okay, I'll farm under tower again."
We had talked about it. Mordekaiser has had Karthus pushed up against his tower nearly this entire game. Karthus actually opting for 2 gold per 10 here. He has the Heart of Gold and, well, my directed camera, I'm not clicking properly. I apologize for that. And picking up a Cage's lucky pick.
Yep, absolutely. But Mordekaiser, and the funny thing is, they are dead even on farm. Oh, and here comes the ultimate. I'm not sure.
Down bottom lane right now is what's going on. Parole got the ultimate from Kale. We did see the Stanley came down there. There's 2 Ignites going down. A Knight going down onto Mistake, who's walking in the bush. Once again, Singe was around here, around the map. Flash coming out of Mistake, missing the bush, is going to fall. Wow, Toys, he's up in that, getting flipped back. Perfect flip there out of the Singe. Ooh, an ultimate coming down out of here. On top of that, Mordekaiser now switching to put the passive down on the Stanley. We see the ultimate coming down. Little Balls jumping onto to put the fear down on the Karthus. Karthus just walking through there. See Toys picking up, or I'm sorry, Little Balls picking up the kill. It looks like Toys. Little Balls unfortunately falling to the Singe. This team fight is just going all sorts of wacky right now. Look at this blue buff Singe walking in here. He's just going straight for the 80 carry.
Wow, that was a crazy team fight where everybody started to pour in from all the different sections, where you saw Singed come down, you saw he was actually following the Shen at that point with the teleport from the teleport, and then it just trickled all together, where one after the other, and it ended up being a 2 for 2. Okay, you can't complain about it, I guess, from either side when you look at it, but there was a lot of global objectives and things, but then
losing their blue buff
turns
for it.
out they lose the blue buff from it.
Oh, and it looks like they might lose Dragon from it too. I'm gonna, unless TPA can walk over to, nope, Mordekaiser went back. We just watched him pop back, and Little Balls is going for his Wolves, so that's a free Dragon for Fortnite.
Yeah, and that's a big objective now because this game was pretty close. This will extend their gold lead for Fortnite. Probably more of what they're looking for. Just in the sheer fact that they got the zoning they wanted, and then they got the opportunity to finally take it out, as Ezreal went down early but then came back and was one of the only people bot lane with full health.
We do see, though, even if they are just a little bit behind, TPA's comp is doing a much better job of being able to team fight here. We saw that Toy in the middle there was taking quite a bit of damage with the full Mordekaiser shield on top of his natural tankiness. We look at him right now. He's sitting at 56 armor and 62 magic resist, which is quite a bit on top of all the extra damage he can take with that passive shield that he's got going. So we can see how he can turn it around so quickly. Little Balls making it so nobody can see once he pops his ult. Of course, that is from Nocturne. Has been turning these fights around, but we see Nautilus coming around here from the side, using his passive, putting some extra damage into Mistake, now being pushed against the wall by Bebe. Oh, nice pull. Ultimate comes out. Oh, just barely missing Mistake. Is Mistake going to make it out of there? It looks like they're probably going to dive this. Yes. No, they turned around. Oh, she's going to walk in there to try to go on there. We see Toys. He's walking down from the mid. Singe is following really quick behind. Ultimate coming out. Now we see Karthus ult coming down, be able to pick up the kill onto Mistake. Unfortunately, Baby's going to drop to Ezreal. And while that was all happening, Toys was able to pick up the kill onto the Nautilus, now falling. So, ooh, that did not turn out in Taipei Assassin's favor.
No, and you know what really changed that was, they were going after the fight. They thought they could turn it around because Toys was going to come in, but then the Karthus ultimate is what really made the difference in that fight. That and the great Zekin ultimate that he put to really keep Nautilus alive longer because they were focusing Nautilus, who is a tank as it is, and that really that made the difference. And you know what? They decided they're not going to take this tower, which is kind of interesting.
So, I want to say I just watched. I was looking over here because I was curious if Stanley's ult was up and why he didn't join that fight. And that recent nerf to add what did it add? 20, 40 seconds on it on the Shen ult. Definitely,
Absolutely.
that turned that fight in Fortnite's favor, because if this was pre-patch, pre-Jace patch, Shen would have been down there, and the fight could have gone totally different than it was. So you can definitely see the hurt putting that extra time on his ultimate is done.
And isn't it interesting, the timing of it is that Requiem ended up being up before his ultimate ended up being up. So Requiem made the difference, Shen's ultimate didn't, and that probably turned that fight all around and ended up being in Fortnite's favor. And now Parole is for a lack of a better term, on a roll for what he wants to be for Ezreal to start controlling. And we were saying Parole is going to be the one that either makes or breaks it for Fortnite in this game.
Oh, we see down here, Singe is going one-on-one with that Mordekaiser. Not really able to do too much, but top lane up here. He taunts him, trying to get him in here, try to get him some damage, but he goes in and exhaust going down onto Stanley. Stanley taking quite a bit of damage. That passive was keeping him there. That turret has one shot on it. Somebody hit the turret! There we go. So they get a turret and a kill for it.
And by the way, I want to point out the fact that Karthus has changed lanes with Singe. So Singe is dealing with Mordekaiser mid, and they're just, clearing out waves by themselves.
Right.
Meanwhile, we have Karthus pushing up top against the Shen, and then this has really turned out in their favor, as you can see, as One Bad Brad came in, being the tanky Nautilus that he is, and they're just going to mow down this tower up top.
Wow, that is definitely not coming in Taipei Assassin's favor tonight at all. 2 towers and a kill down there. Oh, well, see, Toy's able to pick up this kill. I like the lane switch over here for this Mordekaiser. Look, they were able to get that kill, but as I was talking, the lane switch, now that Singe has been fed quite a bit, and Singe, he's looking at here, he's got a Giant's Belt, he's got 2 Gold Pretends, he's got a Blasting Wand. Look at it, probably going for Rylai's Crystal Scepter out of it, but we'll see what he decides to build. However, being able to extra tanky and be able to push just as hard as Mordekaiser can push, it's a good lane swap.
Absolutely, I agree. Because like I said, they just clear waves whenever they want. And you're going to watch Mordekaiser clear the lane here, and then you're going to watch Singe clear the lane right behind him. So,
and we haven't seen Little Balls do anything. Little Balls just walking through the jungle is, he's been there for team fights, but it's unfortunate he was not able to gank anytime during the first 18 minutes of this game.
And that's the thing, he hasn't been in it since they took his blue buff. He just has not been able to been in a team fight except for the one bottom where he was able to control Karthus, but then, died shortly afterwards. So this isn't the effect of jungle that Little Balls would like to provide for his team.
Right.
But credit Fortnite, they have done exactly what they needed to take him out of the game and have One Bad Brad be the effective player and the effective jungler in this game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it seems like that Singe has been everywhere. I'm watching bottom lane down here. They are going balls deep on here. We see Mistake popping his ult, but walking out of the way, and the invulnerability shield goes down. The Shen ult comes down onto Bebe. Bebe's now going to chase